Welcome to the Junior Golf Podcast, a podcast dedicated to helping parents and juniors navigate through the journey of junior golf. From fitness to mental coaching, we cover it all on this podcast. Here's your host, Ro Thompson.
4, 3, 2, 1. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Junior Golf Podcast. I'm your host, Ro Thompson. As always, we got a special guest on the podcast tonight, none other than Shane Henderson. Let's give it up. Give it up. What's going on, Shane?
Not much. Just enjoying just finished the workout here at the facility that I'm going to be starting coaching at hopefully pretty soon.
Okay, good, man. Well, good to have you on the broadcast tonight. I know we've been planning this for about the last month or two, and with the holidays and everything that happened, we got you on tonight. So we definitely appreciate you. So before we get into a lot of the junior golf stuff, man, give us a little background about yourself.
I am a high school golf coach locally here.
Good.
I've been doing it for going on my 13th season. My first 8 seasons was with the girls team. And then the boys coach left and I took over that position 4 years ago,
Okay.
going into the 5th season this year. I'm a teaching professional locally here. Been teaching golf also for 12 years, about the same time I started. And I coach a little bit of fitness. I did some CrossFit coaching for a little bit. And then just coaching golf, man. I'm a full-time coach.
Good, man. How you loving the journey?
I am a lot. Yeah, it's been a fun experience. Coaching kids is probably the most rewarding job I've had of
Wow.
all of the golf industry, and I'm happy to do it and hoping to be really successful at it.
Good. Well, question for you. Our first question I got for you tonight is, how did you get connected to the game of golf?
My dad took up the game when I was 8 years old,
Okay.
and was born on my dad's birthday and wanted to do everything my dad did. So when I was 10 years old, he finally took me out with him on our birthday for the first time.
Good.
And that's now been a tradition that we've done for 31 years now. This will be 32 years of playing golf together on our birthday, and that's how I got into the game.
Good. Sounds good, man. It's always good when you can, you know, when your dad can play and you can play, and y'all could just go out and have a guy's day out. You know what I
Yep,
mean?
yep, just the two of us.
Good. Now, so you started the fitness journey, and you've had golf for a while. How did you
Mhm.
what made you decide to connect the two?
I've always enjoyed working out. Back in the day when I first started coaching high school golf, I knew I needed to uh, make sure they were good at everything. And they were just starting to talk about TPI and get into golf fitness and in the golf industry. And I read a book called Fix My Body, Fix My Swing,
Mm,
which was by Joey D, who
yeah.
trains a bunch of guys down in Florida, I believe.
Okay.
Um, and I was just doing some fitness stuff and I got tired of doing it by myself. So I went and decided to join a CrossFit gym.
Oh wow.
And I went through a couple, 2, 3 years of that and just loved it. And they had a coach leave and they needed someone to fill in. And they figured I had some coaching experience and I could move pretty well. So they decided to send me in to get trained to coach CrossFit. And then I took up coaching the CrossFit gym and I would coach classes for that.
That's great. That's great. Have you had a chance to meet Dave Phillips yet?
I have not. I
Okay.
have not. I'm hoping to.
Yeah.
Um, it's it's something that I've always wanted to do, but never had the money to pay for the classes.
Yeah.
But I am with the facility I'm at right now, which I don't know if you can see a little bit of it behind me.
I
Uh,
see a little bit. Oh,
it
that's
is
nice.
it's the largest indoor facility in the country now.
Oh, that's
Uh,
dope.
it's run by it's run by Jermaine Curse and Bryson DeChambeau's caddy, and his team have started this place. They got one in Redmond, and then they just built this one that opened in September.
Okay.
But the Golfletica team that train a bunch of the tour players have a facility in here too.
Okay.
So I'm hoping to meet some of those Golfletica guys that got into the TPI and meet them.
Well, man, that is awesome. So we're gonna have to do another broadcast, and you're gonna have to give us a tour of the facility. That is nice, man.
Absolutely.
That is
Absolutely.
nice.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. So we had a chance to meet Dave a couple years ago.
Yeah.
MJ had my son down at the Grove, and he flew Dave Phillips in, and they did an assessment for John.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we got a chance to meet him, and it was great, man. So yeah,
They do some pretty incredible work with
they do,
those
they do,
those kids.
they really do. So man, how important is fitness when it comes to golf?
It's the missing piece that I see a lot of junior golfers. They don't do it. They don't think they need to do it.
Right.
Um, and from coaching for so long, the kids that are doing fitness and playing multiple sports, when I go to teach them something, the ways that I can communicate it to them are much more vast. There's way more things that they understand. And when I try to explain a technique or something, it works way faster. They get it way faster. Their balance is way better. And
Yeah,
you can have a great technical swing, but if you don't have balance and control and speed, then you're not going to be great. You can move fast and just lose balance and miss a shot so easy in the game of golf. So it's something that I think is really, really important that all junior golfers should be doing.
that's good. I do get a lot of questions from time to time, and you may have been asked this before. What's a good age for a junior golfer to start their fitness journey along with the golf?
I actually, this takes me back to a video that they just posted on the TPI uh, Instagram page like 2, 3 weeks ago, and they said never too young to start.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
developing athletic ability, they're not going to hurt themselves doing it. It's never too early really to get them going on it. Um, and they're great at training. They're so good they'll figure out what to do for those kids. You won't see them doing the same stuff the older kids will be doing, but getting them going early is really important.
That's good. That's good.
Especially like the younger kids have a hard time swinging. The golf club gets really heavy,
Yeah.
then they get bad technique motions from it because they have to pick the club up and they can't move it efficiently because they're not strong enough. So it really helps with their development in the long haul.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. No, we got Shane Henderson here, fitness golf guru. And so Shane, what would you say is a good amount of time or days to actually devote to fitness every week for a junior golfer?
I I'd say 2 to 3 weeks is pretty good. If they can do more, that's great. But
Yeah.
you're really just trying to do some good stuff that some good maintenance on them. So yeah, I think three days a week is a good sweet spot for them. That's what they're doing here for my high school team. They're
Okay.
going to start training them next week, 2, 3 days a week here at the facility.
Oh, that's good. That's good. 2 to 3 days a week. All right.
Yeah.
And what would you say is probably when you see junior golfers, what do you see as probably some of their biggest weaknesses that they need to work on?
Core strength. Absolutely core strength.
Okay.
Yep. It's what keeps you in your center. It allows you to turn with a lot of speed. So they say the glutes are the king of the swing and the core is the queen of the swing. And
Uh,
that's what you got your leg stability from your glutes on the ground, and then you got your core stability, which controls your upper body movements and allows you to move with efficiency.
right.
That
So,
core and glute strength is really lacking for kids.
okay, good. And what do you see as some of their because you know us older people we look at a junior swing the club and we look at the flexibility that
Hmm.
most of these juniors have. What would you say their strongest attribute that they have?
For juniors,
Yes.
the mobility, they can move so easy. Their muscles are a lot more elastic,
Okay.
and they actually a lot of times will be too flexible sometimes at young ages where they need to actually strengthen some portions of their body to tighten that back up. So when I teach a kid, I don't have to necessarily focus so much on changing their swing to help with their current body situations. You can kind of just teach them a basic, fundamentally sound swing because their
Okay.
body can do all the movements. Assuming they've been doing stuff. If they live sedentary lives where they sit down a lot and play video games and don't play any other sports or get out and exercise,
Right.
sometimes they struggle with hip mobility and hip strength. But mobility is huge. Usually for kids, they can do it a lot.
Okay. That's good. That's good. And so talk about a little bit about Shane about when it comes to uh diet and the way you eat. How important is that in relation to the fitness part of the game?
Um, as far as the growth part, I mean, it's helpful, but
Mhm.
kids kids eat whatever they eat a lot of times, and it's
Right.
hard to keep them on a plan like that. It's mainly when they play. When they start playing around a golf, they
Mhm.
make poor decisions. Their mind isn't clear. If they're not drinking enough water, they're not eating small snacks while they're playing. That's the biggest part of nutrition for kids is to make sure that they have nutrition with them when they're playing and around their golf.
Okay.
And you'll see players like Tiger and everybody, their caddy will toss them food or whatever. My assistant coach started bringing actually fruit snacks with us, and if the kid had a tough hole, he'd toss them a bag of fruit snacks just to get it some glucose in their bodies and get them just a pick me up. It also picks the mood up a little bit. Um, but I think nutrition during play is the most important part.
Okay. And what are some different type of snacks you recommend during the play?
Nuts, fruits, anything with protein and healthy fats are great stuff.
Mhm.
Small amounts. You don't want to eat too much and have all the blood flow to your stomach, but just small snacks
Okay.
while they're playing. Protein bars, stuff like that.
Okay, good, good. Now let's go back to the fitness part because one of the things that a lot of people are looking at is the the speed, swing speed. What are some of the different uh exercises you can do to develop the swing?
Speed.
Yes.
A lot of lat strength. So like today we did some med ball slams where we were slamming the ball down. That
Okay.
helps you get the golf club down to the ground faster once it's up over your shoulder.
Right.
And then rotational exercises to allow you to drive from the ground. So anything med ball slams in the wall, slams into the ground.
Okay.
Those are really explosive. And then lower body exercises, jumping are really important too, because that helps you use the ground and learn to drive from the ground. And then we do some balance training too, which is huge.
Mhm.
I got they're called the Gibbard GI board.
Okay.
They're looks like a snowboard. It's got a little band across it.
Okay.
You put your foot on it, and then you just stand there and try to keep your balance.
Okay.
Keeps your core strength up. Trains it. I use it for my high school team before they tee off, just to turn their brain on and get them aware of their surroundings and wake them up a little bit and get their body warmed up.
Okay. Good. Good. Now y'all in Washington, do y'all play? Does the high school play in the spring or I mean fall or the spring?
That's a tricky one.
That's a trigger. Okay.
Either, either,
Neither?
either. So
Oh,
they have every league.
okay.
They decide what they want to do based on their area. So like some leagues will play in the fall, some will play in the spring,
Oh,
and then states in the spring.
okay.
So if your team plays in the fall, you take the winter off, and then you come back in April. You get the month of April to get ready, and then states in May.
Okay.
So it just really depends on what league you're in. I prefer spring because they
Right.
go straight through and they're ready to go
Right into it.
versus 2, 3 weeks right before state, and then they're not really prepared if you play in the fall, I don't think.
Yeah, that's what we do here in the South. We're in South Carolina, so
Yeah,
we actually play in the spring.
yeah. I think
Mhm.
it's a way better process. Play in the spring, and then they go right into the summer season and they're ready to go for summer tournaments too.
Right. Right. There you go. All right. So talk to us a little bit about you've got this new app that you've developed. Give us a little background of about how you came up with this and why you came up with it and why
Um,
we need to take a look at it.
So basically, always been looking for ways to make sure that these kids are doing the little things. They can come and take a swing lesson from me, but once they leave, what are they doing once they're out of my hands?
Right.
I had a company reach out to me asking to build an app for me,
Hmm.
and I went to their website and they wanted 6 grand to build it for me. And as a coach of a high school team, I couldn't afford that.
Right.
So I just started tinkering around with it and moving stuff around. And I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. I can do a lot of cool things with this.
Right.
And I put it all together. The premise of it is to reward kids for
Mhm.
doing the right things. So
Okay.
it has a healthy habits section where as a coach, you program the healthy habits you want them to do.
Gotcha.
They check them off day by day, whatever it is, whether it's eating a good snack or it's practicing a certain drill you want them to do or doing a certain amount of swings or putts or whatever you have them doing. They check it off day by day and they earn points.
Okay.
And there's a leaderboard involved with that where if they're doing the daily tasks every day, they move up the leaderboard on there from doing that. So you get that little bit of
Competitive.
competitive
Yeah.
reward for
Yes.
doing the right things. And then it's also a social community where they can post with their friends and post their swing or post what they're doing or anything like that. It's there's no algorithm involved. It's just very simple, old school timeline where you post something and it just works down the timeline. And it's a good way for them to share their struggles, share their wins, meet friends, uh, schedule friends to go play golf with, stuff like
Okay.
that. And then the other part of it is progress tracking. So it has a little section where if there's something that they want to track, whether it's a stat or their weightlifting numbers that they're trying to achieve, they have a progress tracker where they enter it in their numbers every time they test or they play or whatever they're doing, and it tracks their progress so they can see the results from the habits that they're doing and start to understand how this is helping them out and keeping them motivated.
Well, that's really good.
So
So Shane, what's the
it's
name? What's
it,
the name of the app?
it's called Be Elite Golf.
Okay.
It's a free app. You have to go on there and sign up for an account first,
Okay.
and then you download the app, and then you can participate in the community. I just built the app and I haven't really got it kicked off yet. There's not much going on there. I'm hoping to use it here at this facility. They got an elite program they run. It's called Evergreen Elite.
Okay.
And they try to run it like a college program, and I'm hoping to get all those kids using the app and doing some stuff with it on there and get it going. I also plan to reach out to the first tee and get them doing it because I think when I was in the first tee program learning that, they healthy habits was a big focus in the first tee program. And I think it would be something that would be great for the first tee to use as
Okay.
a coach could have, listen, this is what we're going to do this week, and this is what the healthy habits I want you to do. And then when the kids come back next week, they have their healthy habits done.
Okay. Also reach out to Ryan Daly of Operation 36. He's uh
Yeah,
he's been on the show and well, I chat with him every now and then and I think that'd be good for a lot of the coaches to use as well. Is
through
it
there. Yeah.
is it just Apple or
It's Apple right now. It's submitted for Google Play. I
okay,
had uh, I had a page on there for products too, so eventually that people could find golf products on there.
okay,
But I didn't have any products listed, so they rejected it. So I had to delete the products page until I have products listed.
okay,
So it'll be on Google Play soon, I hope, as well.
okay. That's good. That's good. All right. And anything else that you have planned for the app that's coming down the pipeline?
On there, I'm been adding stuff on there. One of the big things with like my number one player on my team, his mom constantly gets people asking like, what are we supposed to be doing with our kids? Like we want our kids to play college golf, but we don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So the main page, I'm starting to put resources on there.
Hmm.
So like where are the tournaments at in my area to play in?
Yes.
Um, where are the coaches at in my area to get coaching from?
Hmm.
All that stuff. So I'm starting just to build in resources on there. And right now I have the ones I know, like the First Tee organization, US Kids Golf, Rocky Mountain Junior Golf Tour, all the stuff locally on there that I know personally I've put on there, but I'm looking to grow that. So if people have stuff that they know, and then I'm also hoping to build the social community because you see a lot of social communities that are separate,
Yes.
random golf club, restoration
Mhm.
club, all these different organizations, uh, there's black active golfers. Um, there's all these different organizations that have similar values
Yes.
and people would like to participate in all the organizations, but they don't know each other. So I'm hoping to kind of bring all those organizations together so that people can find other people in their area and other different organizations.
That's good. It sounds like you got some really good things going on, Shane, in the state of Washington. And Shane, who would you say has been some of your biggest influencers um throughout this journey? Like some people that you've looked at as mentors and people that have kind of helped you out. You know, if you want to give a shout out to them, this would be the time to do so.
I'd like to start off with my first main when I wanted to be a golf coach. I read Pete Carroll's book.
Okay. Yeah.
He was the coach of the Seahawks. They were super successful.
Right.
Looked up to him a lot, so I read his book, Win Forever.
Okay.
So a lot of my coaching philosophies come from that, from
Mhm.
his book, and I've tried to apply it to golf as best I can. Um, Mark Brody, who wrote Every Stroke Counts,
Yeah.
and I'm a big data guy, and it helps me understand and really gets you through the tough times. Like when you think you're doing something wrong, and a lot of times, oh, the numbers say you're doing great at this. So I love his stuff. Um, and then as far as fitness goes, the owners at Narrows CrossFit, Mike Kelly, was huge, and it helped me as a golf instructor. The stuff they taught me in fitness to cue muscle groups and get people to in better positions for weightlifting was huge in helping me get people in better positions in the golf swing as well. So that's been a huge, it's allowed me to speed up the teaching process because I can solve a bunch of problems with just one cue a lot more often from that. So those are kind of the big influences. And then just golf professionals in the area sharing their wisdom as I've been growing up. There's so many of them that I've learned from. Todd Irwin was one of them.
Okay.
He played in the U.S. Open back in the late '90s. Coached a lot of the top junior players here, and he was my first swing coach and first mentor in the golf industry. He was huge for helping me get started in this.
That's good. That's good. Now, Shane, you have any favorite players on the PGA Tour that you follow?
Uh, I would say Tiger growing up.
Okay.
Bryson DeChambeau has grown on me a lot last few years.
Yeah.
I
Playing
love
some good
his
golf too.
excitement. I'm an energetic guy. That's why I like Pete Carroll so much on the sidelines, running around hooting and hollering. So
And
I like
chewing
the
that
energy.
gum.
Yep, yep.
Right.
Been around 60 years old, so like Bryson and his excitement, Jordan Spieth, I like him a lot. Tiger, obviously growing up, brought a lot of excitement to the game. I like the players that are happy and joyful to be out there
That's good.
playing.
And Shane, I know you do a lot of coaching and a lot of fitness and all of that, but I know you at the same time you do play, right? If
Yep,
you could put together your dream foursome, who would they be?
Tiger,
Okay.
obviously.
Two more.
Bryson now.
Okay.
Um, Sergio
Okay.
and Fred Couples,
Oh yeah.
who's a local guy.
Okay. Yeah.
Local
Fred
guy.
got that smooth swing, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Smooth swing. Now you know Sergio and Tiger might go at it if they're in that foursome.
And well, maybe throw Phil in there too. I don't mind a little animosity in the group. Let them challenge each other.
We're good, good. All right. Well, listen, man, this has been great. Any final thoughts you want to share with our junior golfers that'll help make their fitness part of the journey smoother?
Find somebody that in your area that is TPI certified
Okay.
or passionate about it, and just get started doing it. It's something that's going to help them in their journey a lot. It's all about finding the right people that to be around you, because you're never going to make it grinding away by yourself. The best players out there have a team. They have a trainer, they have a psychologist, they have
Yeah.
parents that support them.
They
You cannot do it alone. You have to have a team.
Oh,
And
Shane, you hitting some things right now, man. Because I could have a whole nother podcast about that. I had somebody tell me to one time, because this is a couple years ago.
yeah,
I was kind of putting John a little team together, like fitness,
yeah,
and, you know,
yeah,
sports psychologist, and he said, "Man, don't worry about all that team stuff. Just go dig it out of the dirt." Like,
yeah,
what are you talking about? Just, listen, you got to have the key pieces
yeah,
to help navigate these players, man, because is you can't just it's not just one person that's
yeah.
going to help them be successful. So I like the topic you just hit on was putting your team together.
Nobody out there knows everything.
Right.
You have to have a specialist in each area,
Hmm.
because that's where their passion is, and when that's their passion, they're going to know a lot about it.
Yeah,
And I don't know many people that have all those pieces. So
that's
you
true.
got to find if you want to be great, you got to find the best in each one in your area.
That's true. That's true. So, man, how can our listeners reach out to you? How can they follow you on your different social media platforms?
My Instagram is Henderson Golf _.
Okay.
And that's my main area to go to.
Okay.
I do have a site on there for booking lessons with me. It's
Okay.
it'll be on my profile. And I've just recently started to try to get into Skillest a little bit to do some online lessons. So if someone's not in the area, they can take some lessons online there.
Okay.
All that info is on my Instagram page.
Okay. And that's
That's
your virtual lessons, right?
yep, for virtual lessons if someone wants to take lessons from afar. Just starting to get into that
Okay.
area. But that's the main way to find me.
Okay. Well, good deal, man. Well, Shane, thank you so much for being on the podcast tonight. You've given us a lot of good information to digest, and the junior golfers that are thinking about fitness hadn't quite gotten into it yet. This is the time they need to do it so they can get fit, so they can swing, so they can be strong, and go to have a good, successful junior career and possibly college and beyond. So thank you again, my friend.
I do have one last thing to say
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
to all my fellow golf professionals out there. If you haven't got a chance to coach a high school team, you might not get the great pay that you want, but it's super rewarding. It's so fun being out there watching them play, watching them struggle, and winning together with them. It's a great, great job, and it's something that you'll love. I absolutely think you'll love. And just get out there, and it will. I think it'll bring back the joy into the game that you remember as a kid.
Mm,
So if you're a golf professional out there, give it a try. There's a huge shortage in qualified high school coaches out there.
it is.
Most coaches are just woodshop teachers or math teachers or whatever,
Yeah,
and they don't know much about the game. They're just driving kids from place to place, and these kids just want to be better. And if you're out there showing them how to do it, they will come to you, and they will seek help.
there you go. You're right. We're going through that now, Shane, with John's team. Uh, they just changed coaches over the summer. So now
Yep.
John has a new coach, and the new coach, but the great thing about him, he was the assistant coach, and he coached the JV team. So now he's
Yeah.
coaching the JV and the varsity. So
Perfect.
we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
All right. All right. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you, Shane. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for listening to the Junior Golf Podcast. You can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. We hope you enjoyed this new episode, and if you did, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Please share this episode with others who may be interested in this topic. Also, feel free to let us know what topics you'd like to see covered in future episodes. Get in touch in the comments or on any of our social media networks. See you next week for a new episode